once again, we back, man. Welcome to the
Y'all
Real
show.
Marcella Show. I am he is me. I had a little trouble earlier, so I got some help. So we're gonna make this thing right.
I saw.
Um,
I got the big Gucci bag. It just cost me so much
as a
bag.
matter of fact,
Real
I'm gonna
Gucci.
allow everybody to introduce themselves and why they qualify to sit on this panel. Starting with this gentleman.
King Sway, singer songwriter, performer. I'm bragging on myself.
Yeah.
I'll brag on you. All right, it's Hollywood. You already know what it is. To watch, you know what time it is. Dog songs are here. You know what I'm trying to hear. I'm here. Kenny Sway, extraordinary man. He won't brag, but I'll brag about. I'm a big fan. He's like everything.
Go.
He's definitely at the end you go international worldwide. You know what I'm saying? You here at the MGM. You know what I'm saying? Get that paper. Next time you here.
Boy Simon and Wayne, the Smash Brothers, hip hop artists. We out.
Mr. Billion Streams. See, these people right here are so like, you know, they're very humble. Not me, I'm very bullshit. I gotta show that. But I said no, I tried. No, try. But Billion Streams and Spotify, get it. This is definitely real good.
Big bag.
Just want to let you know. So we're here. We'll have a topic. You wanna you out, okay. So we got my manager Angie P. She in the slick, looking fine, looking slick, you know what I'm saying? You already know what it is.
The question is, why are black relationships so messy? Why are black relationships so messy? Hey, I can speak about anybody else. Whoa.
Makes sense.
We haven't crossed that line yet. The divide is settled. There's some reparations and restoration that need to happen before I can speak about or for or to and with those other folks. So, with that said and done, I have to keep it in house about the family, my family. Why are black relationships so messy? Hey man, some may say that we needed more hugs when we were little, or we weren't privy to see positive black relationships. I'll say this. To one degree, I can say that we are all selfish as fuck. We want it our way or the highway. And I say because for generation to generation, we've been deprived of certain things. And as our parents before us, and we are now parents or so on, we want to give our children all the things that we didn't have. And the one major component we are not giving is the foundation of our discipline. And that is a direct extension to love. There's different forms of discipline. Discipline by explanation, discipline by consequences due to action. Where there's an action, there is a reaction and a consequence. But in our relationships, as we discussed retrospectively last night about side pieces, where people don't understand, when you step out of your relationship, you make everyone aside from yourself a side piece to you, without regard. And then you wake up and you have that epiphany 90 days before you get married, in which you've been fucking off for the last 4.5 years of change. Now, on your way to your wedding, as I stated last night, your side piece shows up and douses you with lighter fluid and sets you on fire because you didn't consider their feelings, or you may wake up in a burning bed because you didn't consider your partner that you lay down with every night, which makes you the enemy that they're sleeping with, or vice versa. So I asked the young man a question last night on the show. If you had someone at home that cheated on you, does that make them more or less dangerous? What do y'all think? Don't leave me out here by myself.
Woo, that was deep.
That was-
Came in on it.
Don't leave me out here by myself.
No, I won't leave you out.
Yeah. Already. Oh, at the casino without rain. You know.
He cut
Yeah,
up.
cutting up. Cutting up.
I agree with a lot of things you say. I was parent. However, I didn't see my parents in. I didn't. didn't see my parents kiss or hug or any type of affection against each other. But I mean, I know something going on because every couple of years with a kid, I'm the second of 6 kids. So,
They were serving.
yeah, they was doing something, but I didn't get to see that, and I think that is really important because humans by nature, they don't just learn about what we see, what we hear, we learn about what we see, and if we don't see enough affection towards each other, we don't know how to react to the affection. There's a lot of black men that don't know how to love, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of black women that don't have a lot of women sometimes have coincide or love sex.
Do you believe in divine order?
I do. I just believe in the body. However, a lot of people, I guess, I think love is, that's what I think is a big problem. You see a girl, you're like, she got 6 baby fathers, but how does that happen? Because she's in love with love. Because men, you know, can have sex with women and not be invested in love. Women, you got to be savage ass to have sex with a man and just not love him. You got to be on that level where you most men, they're out with it.
Take those spirits on.
Yeah, and you guys like the outcome.
Right.
So I think that's one of the issues with things. When black men start loving us in the 70s, was no love. Now we're getting love. So they don't have love.
So y'all really that's what the media depicts. That's what they allow to be moving. That's what they allow to be in the generation. And was not only in the 60s, but it was in the United States. The 60s and up, after Black Panther movement decided to shadow, there was no more real men existing. They either locked up, killed, or basically emasculated.
So you're speaking about the actual de-industrialization of school, of the grandparents, because basically you have to understand, our great-grandparents and grandparents lived better than we did, and they made a lot less, because they were always put in a position to have ability to earn with their hands. A lot of elders told us, hey, you go to school, get trades, so you can take care of yourself.
Right.
You know, they were carpenters,
Trade
they
is a
were
skill.
nurses, they were, how do I say it? They were domestic people, you know. And when the 70s came, they pulled it out, so intentionally to destabilize the power base. And the power base was there to fund our quote-unquote black leaders at the time. You got to understand, they were not being funded by the government. You know, the Panthers were being funded by the community. The mom, the pop stores, the households. Basically, another example, Greenville. That's a true story where there was actually a book. Let's say if you lived in New York and you were going to Carolina or you were going to Florida, there were actually places in that book that you could actually stop, personal homes that you could actually go and get a meal in the South. And these were perpetuated by people who had the funds to do so. By example, look at Tulsa, where they just gave a Band-Aid offering to say, hey, we see you, we thought of you now. Charlotte was another town where there was predominantly prosperous or middle class, true middle class, wealthy black families who did not need any outside assistance to prosper. And they had the means to pay for lawyers, to pay for bonds, to pay for things that you needed to have to travel for, people to come down and speak, the rallies, to do these marches, to do the free lunches, and whatever it was, the boycott. When they start to take away the head of the household, that is a divine thing. If a man can't earn, he's not a man. He's a hunter by nature. If you live in the wild, you can tackle a deer or something to bring home. But in the world we live in, if I'm not able to put money on the food on the table, I'm not a man.
So whose fault is that though? We can't, this is what I told my son, I have twins. I have a lucky twins. I have 1 boy, 1 girl, right? I told my son, got here to school, I tell my son, you're a man, you stand up and be your sister's signet. No woman should be able to take your manhood or she gets off your ball.
Right.
So I don't think it's a massive issue of men. You are allowing a woman I solely believe that the men are the leaders. I am a very dominant woman as far as, I'm a female, however, the men are very submissive.
Right.
So because if it's a man as a leader, I'm going to automatically by nature fall back. However, if he's not a good leader, it's like you don't know how to drive. I'm a taxi driver. If he's walking around, he don't know how to drive. I'm gonna tell him to park, pull over, and I how to drive because you don't have to drive. Learn how to drive as a man, and that's what I feel.
Here's an answer to a portion of what you're saying. We are the measure of the men and women before us. And that's our birthright. It's on us to go beyond it. But if we can't see past it because we're shadowed by the things like the abuses or the lack of investment imparted in us, we'll never get beyond that individual level before. Whether they were an alcoholic, a drunkard, or abusive individual, a womanizer, or whatever it is, that thing will actually fester in. You have children who actually have been a part of their parents' before with one another. You could actually have a family where, okay, let's say you're a daughter, you're a son, and let's say your father's out there fishing. We telling your mother, hey, we're going fishing, but yeah, you over in Miss Susie's house, playing with Miss Susie's son. And if they didn't tell you anything, or if she asked you, we were fishing, and we had Miss Susie's son with us. You understand? And that happens both ways. Now, you've had situations where, okay, let's say this situation happens where you as a child are so caught up in the lie, right? That, let's say you were in Miss Susie's house. While your mother and father is all playing, you get abused. Or one of the older children in the house touches you in some sort of way. Now, you can't come out about that to anybody because, for one, the person that's in there committing the situation, they don't want to hear that. And you can't tell your other parent because that would break your bond with that other parent. So you have to wear that as a child. So you never get past those things. So you impart, or those things are imparted to you that you can't trust people. Everybody's a liar. Your mother's a liar. Your father's a liar. And they put you in harm's way. So you all you got. Right. So you move about where you're always looking at people waiting for the bad to come out in them. So when that happens, this is how you carry your relationship. This is one of the other reasons why your relationship becomes messy. Because you step into those realms and you've never been able to deal with the PTSD that you carried with you all your life. Now, as far as men are concerned, men being men, that is a hundreds plus year thing. We were not just emasculated. We were raped, we were abused, we were put in positions that we had no recourse other than to be silent because of the position that we were put in, or excuse me, our fathers were put in.
I don't feel like it's an excuse though. To be honest with you, I feel like it's very disheartening. This is how black women feel the way that we do. Scientifically, the black woman is the strongest on this planet. That gene that can actually reproduce every single color in the world, vice versa, as compared to the other women. However, I feel like it's not an excuse. How can we feel as a black, and they say, so this is why white women, that's why they like white women.
Yeah,
no. How can we feel that way?
No.
You guys allow these white men to come into rape us into. Like, how would you guys allow that to happen to us? I feel that's fucked up on my part.
Okay, but here's a quatrain. You love your children, right? You'll never let anything happen. You'll die first. They're going to have to kill you to get to it, right? Willie Lynch. He stated it. Because I had taken the strongest buck in the village and took him and beat him within an inch of his life, tarred and feathered him, and tied him from quarter to quarter, and had horses rip him apart. And I took the second strongest buck, beat him within an inch of his life, and then raped him in front of his family, and had him beg for his life. But I told
There's
him,
no excuse.
listen to me.
No excuse.
Listen to me.
It was more
Let me
men than
finish.
it was
Let
us.
me finish.
No
Let me
shit.
finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. The point I'm making to you is this. Because you, as a mother, witnessed that with your two other babies here, it was your position as a mother to protect him because he can't. He won't anymore. So I'm not going to allow this to happen to my son. So I silenced him. I silenced him. And this is what happens. Time and time again. You can't go out there, boy. Even in the household, you may have 5 sisters in the house, 1 son. The mother, the single mother in the house, you'll talk to the daughters about the business of the house. Boy, take the trash out. Go pay this bill. You go do this. You go do that. You go do this. Preparation for the world. He doesn't get it. Because that's been passed down generation to generation.
We're talking about this.
No, I'm not blaming it.
Listen, no, because I feel like this is one towards it because from the beginning of time, when Adam and Eve said, God told Adam not to eat the apple, and Adam told Eve, and then he's supposed to watch after her. And the first thing he said was, it's a woman that you want. He never said, you know what, I should have told her. We've been getting language with him.
You know why?
These white black men that's after the money that goes to white women because they are looking at the black man as a novelty. They're not looking at how we have seen the black man not protecting us,
We are not
leaving us,
prizes.
and getting us.
We are not prizes.
Absolutely.
The only time
Our
that
prize.
they are able to marry and yield to one of us is if we are going to add something to their lineage. Money, prosperity, something. White thing.
White families, white women.
Because the family thing.
What type of white women?
Listen to me. We talk about the athletes and those kind of things. They're bred to do that. They're raised to do that. You go get that. If you're gonna get one, you got to be one of those. You can't just bring no average Joe.
What about the fat white women that got? We're gonna keep it real here.
Listen to me.
Everything with Hollywood.
Listen to me.
What about the? Okay, listen. We're all gonna keep it real here. 100 in stack, right? There's 2 different types. So there is the ideal white, the good looking ideal shape and fit white woman that is appealing to the African white.
Right.
But what about that white girl that is the black man that don't got she don't got nothing, but she still has sense about that one.
Well, because she got something.
She got something.
Probably so. And that's probably what it is. She's willing to sign for that charge or whatever his taste is or get that deed.
What does he
Sign
have?
for that.
What does he have?
I don't know. I can't speak for that because I wouldn't have this kind of relationship.
I
That's beneath my pay grade. But I can give you this game.
Yeah, it's the throwaways. It's the throwaways.
But
It's the throwaways of ours.
We-
Now, we want the athletes. The athletes don't want us. They want the white. You know why? I feel as though it's because they don't want to have to deal with what you just said. What you said, and it made perfect sense. That you said that once the black women, they see the masculine men above, they said, I'm going to protect the women, right? Protect the next one that's up and coming and beside them, right? So now he's saying, okay, I got to make sure that my son is not in a position to be hurt. So now he's thinking, if I get a black woman, she's going to be protected. Protected like my mother was. That's what I feel.
I'm not going to knock it. That could
Because
be
it's an
for
easy
some.
trade.
But the majority of those who have had access and excess, the reason why they've not settled for a black woman or a black female is because you lead with the obvious. Wow.
So what you mean by that?
Drop the mic. Listen,
mean by
the
that?
obvious is this. And this is the majority. And you look at the things out there. We can start with the Cash App chicks. And then we go up from there. You understand? Oh, what you do? What have you done for me lately? Or you gonna buy me? We going to Dubai?
We've talked about it.
Listen, Nevaeh's mama. You hear me? Nevaeh's mama. Nevaeh, well, it's a previous show where Nevaeh's mama was married to a guy. She had Nevaeh on the guy, and the guy went and found out that Nevaeh wasn't his. On Nevaeh's birthday, she's still asking for a trip to Dubai and shit like that. Yeah. Right, there you go, open the front. Yeah, this thing. So, as I stated, her and Nevaeh would not be in my house. Not more than 3.
What we talked about. I think, remember, you was on a lot of talking about that.
Yeah.
You was on the Cash App, whatever. I don't care what nobody says. You can mismanage your coochie or you can manage it. I don't care what nobody says.
But see,
my
that's
preference. I like black man with money. No, it's not messy.
That's what sisters doing now.
It's a prep. I mean, you know why? You know why? Because they see that the black men are not loving them. They're not trying to marry them. They're not to have commitment. So guess what? Now this is a business transaction because coochie is worth money. It's worth money on the open dollar. I'm just saying, if you're not loving me, give me that money, bro. Because now this is a business transaction. If you love me, I don't care if we're in a bus. If you love me, we love each other. We're gonna work together. You say you love me. We're gonna make it together. But however, my mother told me, my mother and my dad was together for 26 years. She said, baby, marry somebody who got money. She said, you can cry on the bus, you can cry in the Benz. Niggas gonna do whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather cry in the Benz than the bus. So me personally, I like men that have money. That's my preference. So if your preference is a girl with a big ass or long hair or light skin, that's a preference. That's cool.
But see, this is why the relationship
preference,
between
right?
black women and men is fucking messy. Because y'all are looking at the things.
You're
Listen
looking
to
at ass and titties.
No,
You're looking at ass and titties. How
See,
a girl look.
all right, now, see, you got changed.
I just heard this conversation.
This is real
Here's
stuff.
the thing. Now, I got.
Do you have a preference of the type of woman that you would like to get? Do you have a
I
preference?
want a woman, not a female.
Do you have a preference
I
of the type
want
of
a
woman?
woman.
Definition. You know, what's the
Definition of a woman is someone who knows what she wants, knows how to get it, and most importantly, maintain it with gentleness, with confidence, with the
So her looks at her
understanding of
body.
the understanding of who she is with
No
her
more
power.
Romello, so her looks at her body.
Maintaining what?
Listen to me. Listen to me. That's a given.
Maintaining
That's a
what?
given.
What
But
you mean that's a given?
listen, that should be attraction. But that shit can go away tomorrow. You can get hit by a bus tomorrow, and I'm still with you based on what
How
you
do you
energy
give the
is.
girl the initiative though?
Listen,
Because I can have a nigga with money.
let me say this to you. The pimping is so separate. Anybody out there, you better know. They know I'm the best thing that happened to them is Jesus. And I'm gonna give it to them like it ain't nothing else. It's black or white, we ain't no shades of gray. Now, I told the line, I love who I love. They know I love. And as far as that's concerned, I'm willing to work on me every step of the way, every day, to change a lot of the bad habits that I have and have had.
But that's an
But
investment.
recognizing the fact that having a woman in your life who understands what it means to be a woman, this is the one component why a lot of black relationships are messy. And when you look at your grandparents and your great-grandparents, the differences in them getting together wasn't like it is now. They met each other on a whim. You roll a bus of tasty freeze, sitting down and boycotting at the thing, getting knocked in the head. Now I see you come out, I'm gonna wipe the ice cream out your head. Hey woman, my name is Elvis, and I work over here at the yard, and I got 2 kids. You got 2 kids? All right, we're gonna get together. You my woman, I'm your man, and we're gonna pay this rent $9 a week, and we're gonna have a life. And that was it. My only worry was whether you're gonna make it home from work tomorrow night and not be lynched from a tree somewhere. Now, oh, you got to have a car, you got to have some money, you got to have this. Where the fuck is drive, potential, the aspect that you are confident in who you are, whether you got a dime or a dollar, because you got a plan and you got the hustle and the muscle to go get it. But because you're a woman, this is what you sisters don't do, and I hate it, and I hear it so much. You don't check on us. You wonder why we so fucked up? Because you don't pick up the phone and say, hey man, are you all right? I just want to know if you all right today. What's on your mind? What are you chasing? What is it you not obtaining? Who are you looking at? What are you feeding your mind with this morning? Can you pray with me? Matter of fact, you ain't got to even pray. Just sit on the phone with me and just be silent. Let me hear you breathe. Let's breathe together. That kind of connection is what gives an individual to say, I can trust this motherfucker with my social number. And if I throw my life to the motherfucking wind and go to the penitentiary, she gonna send me a letter, even if she don't stay with me because she cares about me. So with her, I'll go out here and kill everybody on this spot if she called me and I had to come up here and see about me based on her word. Because that's bond to me. Everything else, we can go get it together. We can change our addresses, our library cards. We can do all that. But you invented. Fuck up in.
So what is it with the flip side is the female? The flip side is, I get what you're saying, and I
It's got to start somewhere.
But that's not every woman, because I see her husband, you know what I'm saying? She checks on him, makes sure he's good. Whatever
There you go.
You want food, honey, what you want?
There
this.
you go.
She makes
There you
clothing,
go.
whatever.
want chicken today, you like the chicken.
That's right. She really do though. That's no lie. That's what it got.
I check on them.
She make sure. Daily,
I
like
wear the
calling.
woman, he is the man.
Yeah.
God said man, then woman,
Then family.
then family. But at the same time, when the surviving society we live in has done this. Because you, the mother, your house, love your children. Like the food, one of the foods you eat and the air you breathe. Nothing will happen to my children. My son, my man child, I have to protect him. So he can't go out there amongst these wolves. I'm not gonna let him. Take out the trash, boy. You minimize them in your home. This is why most young black men to this day, they walk around with these feminine tendencies because they not.
Let's stop right here. They
No.
walk around with this feminine tendency because the man is not there. The man is
Why
not
aren't the men there?
Because he's not looking at a woman.
I just gave it to
Wait,
you.
whoa. He's not looking at a woman as a wife. He's looking at a woman as something to fuck.
No,
That's
he's
what it
looking
is.
at a woman as the broken connection with his mother and father. His mother is the only thing he saw in the house.
Okay, but here's the
And a
thing.
lot of motherfucking mothers, they marching dudes up and down the same thing, right? They like the whole 9 yards.
Here's the thing, Mello. The man, a child is made by a man and a woman. Me personally, I was married for 15 years. My husband, rest his
Well,
soul.
can we do this?
Okay?
Can we do this for the sake of this conversation? Because I stress who I am.
I was a wife.
No, I get you.
I was like
But I'm
her.
saying,
I was the same way.
let's be gender normal. Male and female.
Okay.
Your character is what makes you a man or a woman, not your gender. So let's say for males and black males and black females, just for the sake of this conversation.
Okay. No, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So what I'm saying is this. When we're going here, first of all, we have to talk about the things that made me that way. However, when you're going to a woman, right now the culture has made a woman is supposed to have sex. Back then, when our grandparents were things, two things that were different. One, the woman really actually needed the man to be able to survive. You know what I'm saying?
And she still does.
No, not
She still does.
She doesn't need to survive.
She still does.
No, she doesn't need to survive.
She still does.
No, because a woman.
She still does.
No, listen, keep it real.
She still does.
Okay, hold on.
And vice versa.
No. Let me tell you. And
She still does.
This is the real shit. Let me tell you. Most of the black men are what? They're gay.
No,
They're dead.
that's bullshit.
They're in jail.
That's bullshit.
They're
That's
undereducated.
bullshit.
That's the real truth.
Bullshit.
They're
Bullshit.
compared to the black woman, they're undereducated. They are in jail.
Why?
They are gay.
Listen to me.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Why?
I don't have
I'll
to
tell
know.
you why.
I don't know.
Listen to me. The only people in the world, and I'm saying this as an outfit. Matter of fact, I'm a sick. I'm cool with being, but I want to island by my fucking self. When you have young guys who are willing to look at other guys and compare themselves constantly to what he has and what she is doing or what he's doing to get her, that's not male tendency.
There's
That's
no accountability. Listen,
yeah.
a man, your homeboy can have a baby, but your homeboy, you live 2 blocks down from the girl that he had sex with. Now, ask my dad, right? So my parents were together. Parents had 6 kids. They were 26 years before mom passed away, right? I asked my dad. I said, Daddy, how do you feel about men leaving, their women? He said, in his day, it wouldn't matter if it was the town whore. If you had sex with that woman, there would be a possibility that was your baby. Even if the baby comes out, baby like you, it's yours. It doesn't matter who you are. That's you as a man. If you have soil, you plant your seed in fertile soil, right? So if you didn't plant your seed in fertile soil, you happen to plant in unfertile soil. The girl's a town whore. That's what you hate. You're the one that had sex with a woman that was a town whore. However, now it's produced a child, right? So you have to take care of that now, right? And my dad said, if my homeboys and friends didn't take care of it, it'll be shame. You know that's your baby. You ain't take care of it. Now you would know that your homeboy does not take care of his kid down the street. There's no accountability amongst the men. The men don't say that's wrong for you doing this. That's your girl. Why you hitting her? That's your girl. Why you doing that? They stay out of it. That's your girl. I see you with her. That's your baby. You don't want to take care of your baby. You want to marry the woman. That's the problem. There's no accountability amongst the men. The men are the leaders. If the men are the leaders, the men run the world. Am I wrong? Right.
How can they lead when
Listen,
you
it's a
guys?
man's world. Here's a question. Is it a man's world?
Listen to me.
This is a man's world.
Yeah,
And
but
when I
ain't
say
nothing
something
without a
to
girl.
you, listen.
Ain't nothing without a
That's
woman like a girl.
right. But the first thing I say to you, like, I'm a man. You said I'm a man. You're a man. But when it comes to a man, men are not taking accountability of the fact that the world is not operating right. If you guys are the leaders, generals, why are you blaming the women? The women are the soldiers compared to the men that are the generals. If the world isn't running right amongst the black community, it's the man's fault.
Not at all.
It's the man's fault.
It starts.
How is it not the man's fault?
Listen.
How is it not the man's fault? He's the leader.
Listen. How can he lead when he's been silenced from birth? Damn it.
Listen.
It's no way. Listen.
That as a man, that's up to you.
it's
You're a
that way.
man. Nobody should silence you. You're a
Yeah,
man.
but
If
that's
I tell you
bullshit.
something, you say you're a man, right?
Listen to me.
So why are you being silenced?
Listen.
But that's your thing, you.
You right here.
I believe that
What
the
you're
man
doing
is
right
the
now?
leader.
Yeah, but what you're doing
I
right now?
believe the man is
It proves the point that I'm making.
that.
You all don't play your part. Listen to
Our
me.
play our part. We have the babies. We play our part.
Having the babies and being the first teacher, meaning.
I homeschooled my kids for 5 years straight. I'm a teacher.
There we go.
I'm a teacher.
See, but at the same time, what you're telling me is that the education you're getting, yeah, you're making books now. But where's the spirituality? Where's
Oh,
the
I get the bottom right here. My kids are spiritual.
So understand what I'm saying to you. When you talk about it, you talk about the spirits of the broken. You, as the helpmate, are our backbone. Excuse me, our real bone. And you need these to hold up
And I'm the
your
helpmate
lungs,
to
your back,
helping you
everything.
as the man that is the
Thank you.
leader.
So where do you
So
go?
how is it? Okay.
So
How is
how are
it?
you helping?
Oh,
So
the
how are you
women.
helping?
Wait 1 second. The women.
So
He
how
just
you
said that
helping?
we're the helpmate, right?
Right. So how are you
We're
helping
helping
back?
him. So how is it our fault when we're helping the main thing? You guys are the top tier.
How are you helping?
You're the-
Right now, all you
you're
telling
the
me
top.
is that what ain't happening or what hasn't
It's
happened.
top tier.
Or they disappeared or this, that, and the other. Trust me.
It's the
Let me
man's.
put it to you like this.
It's the man's fault why the women's.
No, that's
the women
bullshit.
are going to
Let me
follow.
put it to you like this. Let me put it to you
Now,
like this. Let me put it to you like
I'm
this.
going to take responsibility.
Okay, let me put it to you like this.
However,
No,
I take the
hold on. Let me
responsibility.
put it to you like this. Not
But
every
the
single
leader is
household.
the leader.
See, but you're talking and you're not listening. Not every household that's set with a single mother. You
I don't know that
listen,
lifestyle.
listen.
I didn't grow up in this
Exactly.
house.
But even still, you had your mother and father in the house. You didn't know what the hell went on in their area. You don't know they talked while they couldn't talk to whatever they thought. They might have left the house and had those knockdown drag outs.
Yeah, that's
But at the
what
same
I'm
time,
saying.
while those single parents sat in that house, you don't know what happened, why that man is not there, or why that woman is not there.
That man, my
Understand?
dad told me the man was weak.
That's bullshit. Your daddy,
He left.
he's got his position because he played his part.
He
but
stayed. He wasn't weak. He
But
didn't leave.
that doesn't make him strong or weak. He stayed because that's what he chose to do.
Because he
I'll
said
listen.
he cared about his
I'll
son.
reference a conversation that Nikki Giovanni had with James Baldwin. You have black men and had black men back in the day who leave the house to fake it for some funky roll, jive ass humpy on the job and smile and spin and grin and deal with that shit all day and make barely enough to put food on the table. Only to come home and look at his woman and his woman is nagging his ass and telling him about what's not in the house and what he got to do and you need to get a better job and so blah blah blah. So here's the thing. We're talking about the 70s where that shit began, the separation of the black household. The detriment to the black power base.
What's a nag? A nag is something because a man doesn't do
No, that's bullshit.
Doesn't do what they're
That's
supposed to
bullshit.
do.
If you
I
try
do that
to,
with you. You got to nag.
no, what that is.
If I gotta take out the trash, I'm
Listen.
gonna take out the trash so nobody would ever have to tell me
Right.
to take out the trash.
But what I'm
if
saying
I don't
to
take
you
out the
is-
trash, that means that somebody has to tell me. I'm in the wrong because somebody has to constantly tell me to do something. Nagging comes for someone not doing what they're supposed to do.
Bullshit. If he's doing the best he can do, oh,
I agree with
if
the
he's
beat.
doing the best that he can do, he has a fucking job, not going to listen to penitentiary. You mean to tell me you got something to say? In all actuality, the reality of life is that regardless of what the fuck is
If you
going
know
on,
that your household is lacking,
No.
your wife shouldn't even have to tell you that you are lacking. You should you should know that it's not enough money. If your wife tells you a nag is a constant thing, right? A nag is not a one thing, it's a constant.
you're delusional.
All right.
You're living in this day and age.
No, and that what is a
Listen
nag?
to me.
I'm asking a
I
question.
came up in that time.
What's a nag?
I came up in that time.
I'm
So
just
I
asking the
understand
question.
this.
A nag is
Understand
a
this.
constant thing.
Yeah, but
It's not a one
it's
thing.
consistent every day.
Is a nag a constant thing or a one thing?
All right, listen.
Answer the
What
question.
we're not going to do is this, right?
I'm just
What
saying,
we're
answer the
not going to
question.
do is this. You're proving the point why black relationships are messy, especially with black women. Because you do a lot of this, a lot of lip service, and you're not listening. You ask the question, and
You
I'm
never
answering
answered the question.
I'm answering the
You
question.
never
I've
answered the
answered
question. What
it.
is a nag?
You are a nag right now.
ask the
Because
question.
you're doing this and you're not listening.
I mean, but you didn't answer my question. That's what a nag is. I said a nag is a constant thing because I constantly
The
ask the
constant
question.
thing is that
You
he's
didn't
not
ask me the
making
question.
enough. The constant thing is a nag to him already that he understands he's not making enough to provide for his family. So here's the decision that he's had to make, is making necessities. If I'm in the house, the babies may starve because I'm not making enough and I can't get another job. I can barely maintain the job I have. So either what's going to happen, I'm going to go sell me some heroin, I'm going to pick with somebody, or I'm going to go rob somebody. And those are the risks that I will never be with my babies. So what I'm going to probably have to do is I'm going to have to move out and let another man move in here, Mr. Welfare, so that where you can get whatever you need and provision for those children. Now, here's the thing.
It's nothing but excuses. I'm sorry.
It's not excuses.
To me, it's excuses.
Yeah, I know, because you haven't lived at that time. You didn't walk through shoes.
It's to me, it's excuses because if my kids are starving to me, let me say something. The single woman that has no one there, she doesn't make excuses. She makes it work. No one has to tell her her kids are starving. She's gonna do whatever she gotta do to make sure. So now, as a man, listen, as a man, I'm just saying,
It's easier for her to do it by herself in certain instances because of the things that she does. But she's gonna pay for it later. Understand that. And I'm gonna say this to you. For someone to lock in with a man, a black man, who everybody in the face of this earth is against and have been against for hundreds of years.
I got two strikes against me. I'm a woman and I'm black.
Come on, man.
What are you talking about?
We ain't gonna do that shit. Y'all get the listen. You have
I'm a
the keys
woman
to the
and I'm
kingdom
black.
anytime. You have the
I
keys
got
to
two
the kingdom
strikes.
anytime.
Don't tell me about
Fuck
that.
all
I got two strikes.
Listen, we ain't gonna do that.
In the Western world, I'm a woman. But around the, it's places I can't go to and around the world without covering my head or go anywhere because I'm a woman.
I think
America is allowing me to do certain
Like I said, I think that you really
America. No, man, you delusional. Because America, you understand, I'm black, which is one strike against all of us. I'm a woman, that's two. Around that's places I can't go around the world by myself because I am a woman. So black men say we struggling. I got two strikes against me. At least you can go to a white man and say, hey, what's up, we man. I don't have no relationship with a white man.
That's bullshit.
I'm
Tell
just
me
saying,
where that conversation happened.
listen,
Trust me.
no. What I'm saying is I'm just talking about in real life scenario.
In real life.
Real life scenario. You have at least the one-on-one that you are a man. I'm not saying the white man may be over you. I understand that, right?
He'll welcome you in before he welcomes us.
Listen, because he doesn't feel threatened. However, if this is
and it ain't about the threat because he wants what he wants.
However, you're a man. You have that hierarchy. You just talked about man being the leader. You just said that. You just said that it's man, then woman, and then children. That's God's order.
Yeah.
So man is above. And I have no problem with that. I 100% agree with that. I said the man is the leader, right? So if the man is the leader, I have two strikes against me. I'm not a leader. I'm a woman, and I'm black. I have two strikes. So the point is that I see the black man doing a lot of excuses about why the white man came in. My dad did not allow the welfare system to come in and do that. He went to go work because my father is strong. He's a strong man. He never left his 6 kids. He could have left because it got too hard for them.
The point I'm making to you is your mother, your mother and your father.
The weak man left. The strong man stayed.
Your mother and your father weathered that storm.
Together. Because that's what they're supposed to do. Together.
Yeah, but you're missing the fucking point. Not everybody was on that page.
Because not everybody's strong enough
That's
to
bullshit.
stay.
You gotta understand. A lot of times people met and just hooked up and just fucked and had a kid. And because you had a kid, they sought to stay around and do the right thing. But because the individuals, 9 times out of 10, didn't even know each other or like each other in that position. They didn't feel that chemistry or that connection enough to say, hey, look, we'll withstand this shit regardless. So there's multiple, 2 million reasons why shit didn't happen for the majority of the family.
It goes back to being a man as a leader.
No.
Plant your seed in fertile soil.
Here's
if
what
you're
we
a
have to
man,
do.
take the initiative to make sure that you get to know the woman that you are dealing with. Like, what are we doing here? Men are always saying they're the man when they feel like it, but then when they don't, they take it back.
Still doing that. We talking about genders of characters.
We
talking about genders of characters. Genders of characters.
Gender or character.
Genders of characters.
Okay.
So now you lump your daddy into the men. Because what you're saying, you're saying men. So your daddy with everybody else, right?
My dad is a man.
There you go. So say
he has man
right
is
there.
the characteristic
So right there.
of a strong man that wouldn't leave his wife. Now my parents fought. They We fought. We went through homelessness. We've been homeless together. We did everything.
So let me stay on task, y'all. This is why black relationships is messy as fuck. Because you goddamn women,
You have an
female.
issue. You have an issue.
I don't have an issue. I love you. I want you to do right.
What's the longest relationship you ever been in?
23 years.
Okay, the longest I've been in was 22 years.
What does
Okay,
that mean?
how long have you
What
ever
does that
married?
mean?
You ever
What does that
married?
mean?
You ever
What does
married?
that mean?
Were you ever
What does that
married?
mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?
Were you married?
See what we doing?
See, this is where we go back and get with the nagging. I ask a question, you don't
You
answer.
nagging. See right here, what I don't do, I don't do a lot of kicking my personal business and this kind of shit because
Okay.
it's not that.
We're here right
We're
now.
here for the people that are viewing this to give them
We're here
some.
right now.
But what you're doing,
We're here right now.
you personalize this thing and you're talking about your daddy. And
Yeah, because I mean, me
Well, Pop, hey,
personally,
I'm gonna
me
stand up
personally,
and I'll clap him up.
listen,
But we're talking about
it's a personal thing because that's what I only know. It's not
Yeah.
about, it's not me
And
being
that's what
personal.
I'm saying
I'm
to
speaking
you.
on experience.
But
It's
this-
experience.
but this-
If you don't want to speak your experience, I understand that. And I'm not going to take you.
I'm not speaking to my experience. I'm speaking to the experience.
All I can speak is all my experience.
Okay, well, when you give me a second to speak, right, I'll do that.
But you don't answer my question when I talk to you.
Point is,
That's
I
not
have answered your question.
No,
I have. You don't listen.
well, listen.
Listen to me. This conversation is not for those that have come 20 years before. We're talking about these fucked up kids that's coming up now. The generation that is 9 times out of 10 going to see us in a geriatric home walking around pushing a broom or some shit like that. Because they didn't take their life by the horns and handle it. Because they were missing a mother or missing a father. There are a million reasons why. It's not excuses all the time. Because you don't understand, like I said to you before, retrospectively, you don't know what that child, that man child, or that woman child went through before they came a man and had a child. Those abuses and that PTSD that's going on well before them. Even to this day. Fuck, you're strong, man. You hear.
I'm just saying.
You don't mean
can't
you're not
talk to somebody
mentally
like
fucked
me.
up.
I've been through a lot of shit.
Yeah, but
Only the strong survive.
at the same time, it doesn't still make you proper. Just like it doesn't make
I'm
me
not
proper.
proper. I've lived a lot of
So
life.
understand
Only
that.
the strong
For a
survive.
million and one reasons, your shit could be off. Somewhere. And trust me, it is. We just don't know. That's your business. But what I'm saying to you is, hopefully your children don't miss anything in the fray, and they operate differently. So what I'm saying to you, when we talk about young boys and young men nowadays, because of the things that they seen when they came up, retrospectively, Young Blood was on the show last night. He said something that makes so much motherfucking sense. Young guys do the deceptive shit because they seen it first with their fucking mother. And the majority rules. When you're wrong, you do what wrong does. They saw their mother do the deceptive shit that they've done. This is why they've lost the trust and the ability to trust the women that they're dealing with nowadays because of what they seen when they came up.
But what
So here's the
about
thing.
the father? That's what I'm saying.
Keep talking about the father. Listen to me.
Who made the baby?
Listen to me. Listen. You missed the ism. I'm giving you some game.
I agree with everything.
For $1
you
million
say. I know this
and
is-
99 cents,
I know
that's
this
free
is, but I
tonight.
feel like you.
If
feel
your
like
mama was a hoe, she was a hoe.
Listen. I agree.
And just like you just said,
But
if
it
he
starts
stuck his
from
dick
the
in it
president.
and
It's
he had a
it's
child,
the
he
pre-sequel.
chose to steer, he
That's
chose
that's
to
what I'm
stick around.
saying. You know, it to me it's like this. No, to me it's
I'm not
like
blaming
this.
anybody. What I'm saying
Listen,
to you
to
is,
me, it's a
in this
pre-sequel,
day and age,
right?
We
To
all
me,
to blame.
if the men are gonna say they're the men and they are the leaders, then you have to accept that the leader position.
you know what I'm getting
That's
from
what
you?
I'm saying.
What I'm getting from you?
That's all I'm saying.
What I'm getting from you? The mother vibe that you wrong. You was bad. You were bad. You were bad. You were bad. And there's no healing. Because you haven't said anything about healing tonight. About nothing.
We
Listen
haven't
to me.
got there yet.
No. We here right now because that should be your first. Listen to me.
We talking about
Messy.
messy. We ain't talking
It
about healing.
starts with that. Understand that. The child is going to grow into what he sees or she sees.
You're talking about, okay, listen, healing is here. The start is here. We got to start about the start. Who started everything for us to
Hey.
get healed?
We didn't start.
What are you healing from?
We weren't
You're
started.
starting here.
We
You're
didn't,
bringing
we
it
didn't
here.
listen. We didn't start it. It was done to us.
Start.
This
What's the start? That's what
It
men
was
do.
done to us too, though.
That's what I'm saying. It was done to us
Listen
even
to
worse because we
We
expected
do
you guys
know.
to protect us.
We do
You
know
didn't protect
master fucked everything in the place.
Everything.
All right. So what I'm saying to you is,
However, it's
who
the
would that-
man to protect us. Let master fuck both of us. That is the thing. That's the thing. The start, baby. You're here at the healing, and I agree with
Do
you.
you understand?
We can so disregard.
I'm not listen. You got so
But
many.
we do it to ourselves.
We are.
To ourselves. We're our worst enemy.
We are
You are.
definitely our worst
We
enemy.
The
are.
one you talk to goddamn much.
Yep, there
You
it
don't
is.
listen. If I tell you
Y'all
shit,
don't want to hear anything that we say.
because for what? Why
That's
are
what
you
I'm saying.
listen,
We
why,
don't
listen,
say nothing.
the point is, why are you saying anything
Listen, if
that's
you're
not
the leader, if you're the leader, you want to talk, you want to lead all the way. I won't say a damn thing.
Thank
But if you want to be the leader, but
All
then
right,
when
well,
you
I'm
say
the
it's
leader.
our problem,
Well,
what you want me to do? You got to pick a struggle, man.
Well, here's the leader.
If you want to lead,
I'm
I
the
won't
leader.
say a damn thing.
We on my platform, right?
Yes,
I'm gonna help
sir.
you out. I'm gonna get you a game for $3.99. Start with your career. The point I'm making to you is, you've all been through something. I can't expect you to be a better man. I can't expect you to be a better woman until I'm a better man. Okay? Recognizing that, knowing where I know where I've come from. I know the hurts that I've had. I know the abuses that I've had. You know the shit you've gone through. You know the shit you've gone through. The point I'm making is this. There's no excuse in this day and age for anybody to be without. None. If you're pressing every day, you're going to touch it. You'll get to the mark. If you're laying back and you're coasting, you're in the way. But when we talk about the parental situation that happened prior to this generation now, they didn't have a choice. They did the best they can do, or the motherfuckers either died trying, or they died somewhere else other than where they should have been. Either in prison, in the gutter, or whatever. Some people were able to reconcile with their children, and maybe 20, 30 years later, the kids are grown, got kids, grandchildren, and they're still able to reconcile. But there's conversations that they did not get to have. And I'm going to tell you something, because the majority of those men in the 50s and 60s and 70s, they were men. They were bred men. That was enough to destroy them, the fact that I can't do for my kids. I can't do for my child. Fuck the woman. This baby needs to eat. And if it's not enough because you're looking at this woman as your potential queen because she bears children, she basically almost gave her life for you to have a child. That's almost a life sacrifice thing, right?
It is.
Have a child. So even them thinking enough of that, and to hear from that woman, that queen, and you constantly fall short. That ain't $10. That ain't gonna buy shit. What you gonna do? You know, yeah, you need to do something else, but shit ain't nobody high. You talking about the 70s. You talking about the 60s. Ain't nobody giving no black man no job. No. What is he gonna do? And if he wasn't in school, if he didn't get an education, if he wasn't in college.
So I guess the answer to that is leave her.
No.
What's the
There's a choice. I'm gonna tell you right now. There's been within the last 20, 25 years, I've talked to certain people, even coming through the 80s, where they've gotten older in age, and where their financial position was based on their health did not allow them the ability to take care of their house and have insurance. So one had to leave the house so the other one could have health insurance to survive. These are the decisions that people have to make or had to make in their lives. So you can't say that he was just a weak-ass man because his circumstance was dealt in his life that he wasn't able to go get a fucking job. He could say he had a job, it's just no. Because you got to think, minimum wage was $3.25 at one time.
This is what you got to understand. You homeless somebody who can't be homeless to live in a $600,000 house. To me, there's no excuses. Find the fucking way. All right?
Listen,
I don't want to hear that you can't do it. If you're making a job, you better go out there in the late night. Listen, my kids, I'm going to tell you some real stuff. My kids I just turned 11 years old. They hit me up. They hit me up. They said, "Oh, Mom, we found a bag of DVDs." And I said, "Okay." They said, "We went door to door and went to go sell them." They made $50 in one day, $20 the next day. My children are 11. They made $70 in 2 days selling DVDs that they found. You know why? When I was 7 years old, I took my kids to the dollar store. We took $10. We bought candies of them individually. I rebagged them and we sold them. I told my kids how to make money. To me, there's no fucking excuse. To me, it's just nothing but excuses. I can't do this. If my kids come to me telling me they're hungry, I'm gonna figure out something. If I was a man, I'm not a man. But if I'm a man and I'm a leader, I'm gonna say I'm a man, and my wife's telling me there's not enough money, I'm not gonna get mad at her, there's not enough money. I'm gonna sit down and figure out how can I make that money. There's no excuses. To me, weak people make excuses. This comes from somebody who came from nothing, homeless. I slept in a park with my family. Nothing. I had a $600,000 house. There's no excuses. So if they want to make excuses, that's up to them. Black people have to accept the fact that they make excuses and blame the white man and blame this instead of picking themselves up and picking themselves up. That's up to them.
I hear you.
So I'm talking about from experience. I'm not saying that
But
shit.
what you talking about
You know what I'm saying?
is in this day and age.
My dad did not let them.
We're not talking about
we were
60s
fucked up, but my
and
dad still went out there and we panhandled together as a family and made money to eat.
I hear you.
So it's no excuses.
But that was in the
No
last
excuses. That was in, no, that was the last 20 years.
Right.
20
So
years
the
ago.
point I'm making to you is the fiduciary position of the black family is different now within the last 30 years.
It's even more
than
ways
it
to make
was.
money, so it's even less excuses. You can be on the internet right now
So
to
what we talking
show
about?
and making money.
So what we talking about?
What we talking about is no excuses. I don't want to hear it.
Messy will never change.
So
The message
here's my
it's going to
point.
change because it's messy because I
So-
feel as though we don't have. All I
We're
can
not
say
on
is
the
this.
same page.
All I can say is
We're
this.
not on the same page.
All I can
So
say is
here's
this.
my point.
The men are the leaders, so I
Hold on
expect
a second.
the
Okay.
men to lead, and that's all I can say.
So here's my point, right?
No excuses.
Not all,
We're in 2021.
Not all black relationships are messy.
No.
There is some mess in
So
every
like,
one.
she has a beautiful, beautiful
But-
relationship.
But this messiness.
But the point I'm
And
making,
everybody's relationship. You know what I'm saying?
But
Why
the
you
point
have
I'm
different
making-
type of messy?
Yeah, it's a
what,
lot
what
of
we're
work.
talking about
work.
is why there's so many disenfranchised black people, black men.
Because the fathers aren't there. Because the fathers are making the right decisions with the women.
Why? Why?
That's what I'm saying.
It started. You gotta go where it starts at.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Why was the father there?
Okay.
Because that's
There was
it.
no relationship. There was no future about it. There was
Is
no
that a reason
investment.
not to care for your kids? I'm just saying.
Huh?
Is that a reason not to take care of your kids? Because they're if you hooked up, but a child is here that needs to be fed, clothed, whether you want to be with her or not, you're still responsible for that child. Do you provide or do you say, hey,
Well, don't me.
Not you.
Don't me got
Not
that
you.
now. Oh, mine's like,
Not-
hey, my babies come on this show. Don't do that. Not me, damn it.
Don't take it personal.
Oh, okay.
It's not personal.
Yeah, mine is come on. They regularly visit my
I'll
show.
take care of his kids.
Yeah, don't do
It's not
that.
personal. It's for the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
here's
asking,
what I'm saying, and
Why
I'll say
why
this
men
before.
drunk, not you.
Well, let me give you an example.
And Dabby did.
For me, as a young guy, I've had excess. So I can see where a hookup would put a guy in a position where if he didn't win and he's not giving a fuck, he's not gonna give a fuck. Listen to me. I'm just giving you some game.
Not even about a lot.
Listen. What I'm saying is, no. Listen to me.
This is where we're at.
Listen to me. Hear me out. He's not gonna give a shit. But if the head of the government and he has an ounce of dignity about him and he recognizes that the child is his, because the first question is, well, shit, how many other niggas she fucking?
Why would you even be with a woman that's like that?
But here's the thing. Listen, it's not about like that.
It is.
Advocate.
No,
Yeah,
no.
Oh,
We
wait,
ain't
wait,
talking
wait.
about no motherfucking devils, and we ain't talking no advocates.
No.
Let me
You
give you the
got-
thing.
it's two sides
Let
to
me
every
finish
story.
my thought now. I'm gonna let y'all have it. I'm gonna let you have it.
Wait.
I'm gonna pause. Don't beat me up now. I'm with you. I mean, we go. We out here.
Oh, she
Yeah. But the point I'm making is like, you know, we all be young. We fuck up.
Yes.
And we know. But at the same time, when we do shit, we kind of want to be sure it's the right thing I'm fucking with, and it ain't access to everybody, and then I don't want to be nobody's fool.
Your DNA is yours.
There you go. But at the same time, if you out here hoeing yourself, everybody's a hoe.
You got the DNA, so it's yours. Now it's theirs, not yours.
Now-
Devil's advocate.
All I was going to add was the women are still allowing these things to happen too. If I know that men ain't shit, am I going to lay down with the next ain't shit man? Is just a one night thing?
Men lie, so we know we ain't shit. Then they get mad because it's like a woman like me that said I like a man with money off the top, and like a man that's a certain way. Then they look bad and be like, oh, you're a gold digger, you're this. But then if I live with a broke nigga and I lay down with him, have a baby with them, oh, you dumb, you let a nigga that's broke fuck you.
But if niggas
Come on, man.
ain't
What
been
we
shit for generations, right?
So what?
If niggas ain't been shit for generations,
I don't think that.
but there's a lot of single families.
What was you just saying?
I
You just said there's a whole bunch of niggas out here that ain't shit.
I'm not
They got-
talking about the
they-
men. I'm not
listen,
talking
listen,
about
I
the
not
men.
once said that. I continuously
You
said
said
that.
that.
No, I
That's
did
why
not.
I repeated, because I don't
No.
use a nigga like that.
I did not. I use niggas because I am a nigga.
No, but I just repeated with you. All I'm saying
But
is it's
I
the
never. I
generation.
said men are the leaders. Because everybody just, I consistently said I believe that men are the leaders.
Right.
I never said niggas ain't shit. I've never once out of my mouth on this fucking situation said niggas. I've never. Did anybody hear me say
You
niggas
just
ain't
said
shit?
that. I repeated what you
I didn't say
said.
niggas ain't shit. I never said that. Run that camera back. I said men are the leaders. I said if they are the
Right,
leaders,
you
they're
said men are the
responsible.
leaders. You didn't say men ain't shit. You said niggas ain't shit.
I never said niggas ain't shit.
Okay, so this is my point.
That's what I'm saying. Do you remember me saying niggas ain't shit?
I don't know.
I don't say that. That's what I'm saying. I
I
don't.
know you said men.
Yeah, I kept saying over and over again that the men are the leaders. I look at my black men high.
Men are the leaders, but they have to lead by example.
Example.
It's Christ love the church. The man shall love his family, and
Yeah.
that's biblical. If we're going to bring in the word,
I
and we're
always
going to
bring
raise it the spiritual way.
Yeah.
I want to honor you if you honor God. If you're not honoring
God,
God,
then
we're not even equally yoked. Why are
why
we
we
here?
together?
Why are
Right,
we even
right,
here?
right. And
There's no point.
I
There's no
agree.
purpose. Also, though, as women, take a step back. We want to be men all the time. We want to step out and we run the world and we rule this. No, we don't. According to biblical,
The men
they
are the
rule
leaders.
the world.
Thank
And even if they want to act up, let them believe that they will, because it's the order of God.
Right,
It's
so
not
my
order.
whole point
And I
is,
agree.
my whole
And
point
that's
is,
what-
as
that's what I
women,
said.
we're making these decisions though. So
Exactly.
if for generations men have been stepping away or not taking care of their kids, at what point are we going to say, you know what, I'm not about to slip with you. Let me see what you do first. Let me see how you are first before I make the decision. Because
Listen,
ultimately,
you can do
the
that.
men can lead. We are typically the ones who cannot.
Stop. The other ones will step.
So you don't think that men just come in and tell you everything you want to hear just to have sex with you? You can let a man come in and he can tell you everything nice about him, and you don't know anything. You don't know nobody. I was my husband for 22 years. You don't know nobody unless circumstances give you to know somebody.
No,
You'll
and
never know
I've been
somebody.
married before for a very long time.
You'll never know somebody. You'll never know somebody.
I get that.
You-
But that's not
I may
every
know
woman's
him.
situation
I
either.
may know him with a job. I don't know man. I don't know what I'm
This is the thing, every child isn't born out of some type of false relationship either.
No, my
And
kids,
that's all
my
I'm
kids are born
saying.
well.
I'm not talking you were married. I was married first before I had any kids, so I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying. But my point is, these dudes who aren't anything or aren't into taking care of their kids typically are not the ones who are trying to get to know them. There's a lot of smash and pass kids out there.
But they send representatives. A lot
That's
of
what I'm
them
saying.
send
They send representatives. That's what I'm
But
saying.
if a man sleeps with a woman on the first night and she gets pregnant,
no
what
first night.
represent? And it's a lot of situations like that. It's a lot, or we're
You
just
can
still
be, you can
beating
be,
up.
I've been
Of
with men
course, there's
before, and there's
situations
some men that are very
And no
mature.
women
You
can't
be
say
with
they haven't
them
heard
first
hookups
night,
because
be with
we've
them
all
for
had
3 or 4 years
hookups.
or get married. You just never know. My whole thing is this. It's a part of the, once again, I'm gonna say it 50 times. I'm gonna say it 50 times. Like she said, and I said, I go by the Bible. I believe that the men are the leaders. I never said men ain't shit. I don't know how you got that information. I don't remember. Run that tape back. But I say men are the leaders.
You said it, damn it.
I
You-
said
you-
that.
She said it, damn it. I'm saying it.
No,
She said it.
but-
Goddamn it, we said it.
What I
You
said,
it.
I said I believe that the men are to blame. That's what you probably think. Because of the fact that they're the leaders. He said that men are the leaders. We all agree that men are the leaders, right? Are we all agreeing? Hands up, right? We all agree. So if the men are the leaders, then I'm confused about how we're saying it's the women's
But you're not
fault
doing your part.
how things are happening.
You're not doing your part.
Leadership is, if you have the right
You're not
leadership
doing
role
your
is the
part now.
what are we not
Damn it. I already said it. You do not consider us in your bed. It's all about you.
I wouldn't say us.
This is. If we go watch
Actually,
this
my
thing
man
30
my
years
man
ago.
is premium. My man is premium. Okay, thank you.
Your men?
Yeah.
Plural?
Plural. Just, I'm a single woman. I'm
That's
single.
a whole nother
I'm
messy
single.
conversation.
I'm single. That's why I'm single. And I can do that. I'm single. But when
Why?
it is,
Why do you do that? Oh, you don't want to be a wife again?
I'm not. Listen. I got
Oh,
married
you
at 18
do? Okay,
years
all right,
old.
I'm going to leave that alone.
I got married
Say
18
no,
years
you do
old.
you.
I'm 39 years old. I was married for 15
Man,
some
slow
years.
down.
I would be
Man,
single.
slow down.
Okay. At this time, okay. I never seen my whole life. It's my first time my whole life. I met my husband at 15. I got married at 18. I'm 39. First time my whole life. My husband passed away 2 years ago.
Play, man.
First time my
Play.
whole life, ever my whole life. Yes, I'm going to continue. I like to sing. I like to do that. I'm busy. I'm doing work. I like to sing. In the future, I can't say. The Lord will tell me. Get married, okay, that's fine. You know, somebody there, okay, that's fine. Right now.
Bring my husband. It's messy.
about him. I think he's a leader. What I'm saying is I see the issue. The problem is that he's not properly leading the women. And now it's saying that you think that they may think that they like these girls, but they don't like that.
She's in control
She's not.
of herself.
She's
And she feels that she doesn't need anybody to care about anything.
No,
They
that's
need to be needed. They need.
no,
And,
that's
and I just gave you some game.
I don't think
That's
that's
what he's saying. No,
You-
actually, they need
Listen.
to.
Sisters, let me back up.
That's another thing. You don't listen when they
Here
tell
she
us
goes.
exactly what they want.
I'm gonna tell you what we need as black men.
I'll listen to my man. I'm not listening to any man that's
Listen
just
to me.
talking to me. You know what
Listen
I'm
to
saying?
me.
I listen to my man.
They
Right.
need it.
I hate
The
it.
Lord sits upon the husband, not
Right.
just any man.
I'm not saying,
It's not my
I'm
husband.
not saying this.
But anyway,
I'm
just
just
like right
saying.
now,
man,
but like right
I'm
now, I'm talking to these people out here that's trying to hear me, and you need to kind of hear me too. Sisters, if you got a man, consider him.
If he's your
That-
husband.
That's bullshit. It don't, listen,
Who are you? Like,
It-
if you love me so much, I should be your wife. Well, I'm here 5 or 6 years, I'm not your fucking wife. Like, what are you talking
Why
about?
you there 5 or 6
You're
years?
saying, what are you talking about?
but you hear it, you hear this one right here? This one right here gonna keep you fucked up and stuck and stupid.
I'm just saying.
I'm trying to give you some game,
I'm saying.
right? True
I'm
understanding,
just saying.
but some happiness.
Where your wife
The
at?
key to motivation.
Where your wife at?
The key to motivation.
don't want no man out right now.
Exactly.
The key to motivation.
We living.
I'm waiting on y'all. Whenever y'all ready. Whenever you want to really, really have something. Want to see growth in your man, consider it. And it's not about you making any extra move other than uttering. You utter so much other shit, but you don't take the time to say, hey man, are you all right? Start there. You'll see a great and drastic change in that man because you don't know the weight he's carrying. You just know what you're trying to get out of him or trying to get him to do that he's not doing. Or hear the shit that you want to hear from him that he's not saying to you. But you ain't saying nothing to him.
It doesn't go through every man. It has
Listen
to be
to
a
me.
proper investment.
I'm
That's-
every fucking
it's an
man.
investment.
Damn it.
No, it's not
I've been
every
every man.
How
I'm
you
telling
know
you
somebody for
what's
2,
been
4,
missing.
5 years and you ain't making her listen, listen. My husband, I hear my husband call me
Making
middle of the
her.
night. I will get up out of my sleep and go downstairs and get my husband some water while he calls me sleep. I was a very good wife. I catered to my husband. Nothing wrong with
Okay,
that.
so that's-
But he made me my husband. He made me that. I met him at 15, got married at 18. That's 3 years. We were together, and then he made me his wife. What I'm saying is,
What would
if
you do
you're
to get him to make you his wife? What would you do?
treating him with love, when he got locked up, guess who was sending him money? Guess who was
What,
sending
what,
him
what got you to that point?
Because
You were
I
considering
was loyal.
you were
Loyal.
Thank
It's simple.
so you checked on him on a regular and vice versa. It motivated him more to go and do more for you as you were breathing that. Let me give you an example. Do this. Do this, ladies. Do this. This is what you need to be doing to your man. You touch him. You pray on him. You pray with him. You touch his mouth. His mouth and other positive things. His mind will be prosperous. His hands will be prosperous. His body will be healthy.
I agree.
That's
That
your
is the
position.
saying is 100%.
That's your position.
How
What
long
is the
you
same
gonna
time?
do it, bro? How long?
As long as you're speaking.
Shit, not
Because
just
if you are helping, what you say.
helping is marriage. You can use a
No,
marriage in
listen to me.
courtship.
Stop looking at. You're looking at the societal definition of marriage. Because if you're talking about the word, I'll go through the word page by page with you, and I can tell you, you can go to Church of Corinth and start there. It never speaks about a ceremony or rings a role in that word. It is merely the commission between a man and a woman before God to say that you are together.
In consummation.
See, that extra shit. This is motherfucking shit right here. This is motherfucking shit.
You gotta have something.
Gotta have the paperwork though. Damn.
But now, what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
fuck the paperwork. That's a mere formality. To know that you ride with somebody, you've already been in the trenches with them before you get to that point.
It has
Yeah,
to
it's
be.
not even. It's not
It has
even.
to
It starts
You
with
don't have the DMX wife? She gets nothing.
Oh,
she has
have
put
mercy.
in it.
There
It's
y'all.
nothing.
There
you
you
still
go.
have to have that.
Oh, but she was on some bullshit anyway. But that's not my business.
Okay.
Leave it alone. Earl, rest in peace.
peace.
And
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
But
It has to be a time, like, you know, you have to understand. I do understand what you're saying. I do agree.
Listen,
Everything you do, I agree.
the
But it
decision-
has to be some some type of actual like.
The commitment is already there before you freaking get into the formalities,
Yes.
the paperwork. What I'm saying is, you
Okay.
don't go through some shit before you even get married.
Exactly.
I.e., the conversation I had the other night. Usually people are together between 2 and 4 years before they decide, oh, we're going to walk down this aisle now. This is it. They ain't going to get no better than this. But with that, it takes some trials, some struggles, some tribulations to even get to that point to realize that I can sit outside tonight with you and beg for change. And I ain't going to look at you no different. You understand me? Because tomorrow we're going to get to work and change our address. Yeah, we're going to move to the other side of town. We're going to turn our library card into a black card. These are the things that people do when they've accepted who they're with and who they are and whose they are. Because you're constantly professing those layers of edification and confirmation and affirmation in each other. You my yin, I'm the yang. Let's go get it.
So I think you should tell the people that are out there to say it right. I'm on this road now. But you need to tell them the signs to look for to get to that point. Because if not, women can be invested into men that are not really invested into them.
All right, ladies, here you go.
We can lose.
Here you go.
We can lose.
Here you go. If a man is not willing to share himself at his lowest to you, he ain't for you. Fuck the frontin' shit. And I'll tell you this, if he leads with frontin', whining and dining and all that bullshit, X-nay on X-nay, kick his ass to the curb. Because a real motherfucker's gonna let you meet him where he's at. I get up, I read, I pray, I go to the gym, I go to work. This is where I'm at. 4 o'clock, I'm here. 6 o'clock, this is where I'm at. You want to be a part of that? That's where I'm at. Vice versa. You go to get the workout, you go to get your face pulled or your nails done, whatever the fuck it is. I need to know where your best friend live at and your nearest cleaners where you go drop your clothes at so I can meet you there. Now we walking and it's genuine. The whining and dining and all that, those are tokens of appreciation because you chose to like me and I like you. So when it's done because that's what we do, not because I'm trying to win you over or impress you.
So you don't believe in courtship?
It's never a courtship. It's just what we do. It's genuine because we're living.
So no, you don't believe in courtship.
What's the key word in that?
I don't know. I just asked you a simple question.
Court.
Yes or no?
Key word is court.
Courtship or no?
The key word is court. I don't like going to court. And I don't fuck with 12 at all. So I ain't find that word nowhere. So what I'm saying is if I'm genuinely into you, I'm expressing that to you by communication, by interaction, by professing my dreams,
So
my
that's
ideas, my goals, my
You
aspirations.
see, this is okay. Listen, real quick.
I just told you.
This is how nagging comes.
I just
I asked a
stated
direct question. He didn't give me a direct
I
answer.
broke it
Yes
down.
or no
Very
question. I said, do you believe in courtship?
No.
He didn't say yes or no. He gave an example. This is how sometimes just let for men out there.
Let me put it to you this way. I don't believe in the word
This is how
courtship.
this is
because
how
there's a different
men
terminology
get
for it.
to what's called nagging because you ask them a direct question, they do not answer.
You got a direct answer.
Tell them
You
something.
didn't,
What's the
matter of
direct
fact,
one? It's a
you
yes
just
or
didn't
no.
like the answer you received. It's very direct. I broke it down to you.
I just asked you yes or no. You could have said yes and then explain and then no and then
Well,
explain.
key word is court. I don't like court. I'm not going to court.
So you don't know. So no, you don't.
Right.
Dating, I'm old. We date. Dating.
Okay, well, this has been fun.
We dating.
Well, I'm sure that, yeah, it's sleep by now. Thank you for joining.
Huh?
It's still
Like
messy.
this, y'all know about it. Get y'all messy shit together.
No, when it's a mess, it's hard to clean. You know what I'm saying? So,
Consider yourself.
I mean,
Consider
this
one
is-
another.
This is cool to consider, you know.
Good night.
Five, four, three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it.
It's the Romello Marcellus Show. The fly uncle you always wish you had.
Bring 'em out.
Here to give you every aspect of game from a real player's perspective. It's the biggest boss from business, entertainment, love, and life.
Had to find my inner power.
To fashion, etiquette, and current events.
Major show alert.
All to enhance the happiness already inside you.
Today is about the power of you. Check it out. You're now rocking with the best.